Hello everyone, Lots of Killers here, and today we're gonna review a combi model from 2006, and it's a big one because it's a Kardas dragon, so it's a dragon way, of course, and in fact it was a Fenwak transformed by the Ignica. But before I show you the big beast, I'm gonna show you Vezon because in fact. Vezon is kind of changed because on the Vezon set we're gonna use some parts of Vezon. So, for example, the spear is quite different, you can clearly see, because this time we do not have all the little parts, so there will just the chain with the Takanura spear on it. And also we're gonna use Unwashi arms, which is the left one. And as you can clearly see, it's this time we're gonna use this part to make him different. So a little Ordica neck right here, a technique beam, which is linked with some other technique beam, which are linked to the two axon axes, in fact, yes, and other parts right there. And here we go. So of course it was released as a set, like for example Ultimate Jume or Vaporak or even Yamac. It was released as a set. The only little problem, because a friend of mine got the set, is that the instruction for the Twig Titan were not included. So you can if you just build the box, not build the box. If you just buy the box, in fact the Vezon and Kardas box, there were not the instruction for the Twig Titan. So there were not the instruction for Axon, Mutaka, and Vezon and Fenwak. Of course, there were the parts, all the parts were here, but they were just the instruction for Vezon and Kardas set. My friend got a problem with this instruction, but yeah. And in fact, you were supposed to go on the internet to find the instruction for the Twig Titan set, which I think is really kind of disappointment, because seriously, it's not like everyone got internet. I know today it's all like modern and stuff like that, but you know, it's still kind of hard to go on the internet for some people. So yes, I think it was quite disappointing, but well. So yes, in fact, here's a shield, and apart from that, that's all. But I think it's quite nice. The shield is well designed, and it's quite cool. It's not like they decided to just put off Vezon from the set and just build the Kardas dragon. So yeah, a nice alternative to the Vezon set. And now for the main feature of the review, of course. So I think I'm gonna try to adjust the cam, of course, because this one is quite tall. It's not really as tall as I would have imagined. In fact, if you want a comparison size, is quite as tall as Ultimate Jume, but maybe not as much, because Ultimate Jume really got big wings, so it's quite. Well, maybe at the end of the review, I'm gonna just take the Ultimate Jume set and Vaporak to show you a little comparison size if I can. But here we go, guys. So of course, excuse me if I don't really speak, but I have nothing really to talk about. I'm just thinking about how I'm gonna try to show you everything on the same shot. So maybe I'm gonna first try to add some book. And if I see if I see it fails, I will just show you every type of parts. Oh, I think we got something right here, guys. Oh, so no, yes, it's not like I've got all the model on one shot, but I think it's it's kind of work. So here we go, guys. It's the Kardas dragon set. I can say so. So we're gonna talk about the every part, I think, right now. So as you can see, it's made, of course, in different parts. So you have got the body section part, the head part, the wings part, legs and arm part, and the tail part. And we're gonna check every part. So first of all, maybe the body section part, which is in fact made into two sections. So I'm gonna maybe just put off the head, because some of my connector may break, so I don't really want them to break. So I'm just gonna put off the head, because maybe the arms, yes, maybe the arms, it will. There are some black connectors, so they are not really they are solid. Yes, because yeah, you have to know that in fact on the tail as you can see, you have some a dark gray connector right here. You can clearly see it. In fact, this connector, this double connector, is not dark gray. It's an dark metal one. But the dark metal are really fragile, in fact. So most of my there were just 4 in the Vezon and Kardas set, and one of them really broke badly. So that means I wasn't really able to use it. So I just put on dark gray one. But this one normally is in a dark metal color. So just a little notification. You have to know, but apart from that, all the colors are the white one. So how it works, guys, it's quite hard to show you how it works. In fact, the body frame, as you can clearly see, is made with a pelvis part right there, and also an Inika frame, not a Piraka body frame right here. You can also notice some other Piraka frame right there for the heads and arms. And that's quite all, in fact. So we're going to link tons of technique beams together. We're going to, of course, cover the holes and fill the void with some parts like how this Ordica fit right here, which look quite nice. In fact, the color scheme, of course, is the same as the 3 Titans and works pretty nice. The red and blue goes well perfectly. The gold and the silvers also match in a very good way. So we're gonna build, in fact, this big technique beam parts with some other ball joint for the legs and to link, in fact, the legs and the arms. Then we're gonna add a second section, which is this one. You can clearly see here we go with the little hose pipe. As you can clearly see, it's made with an in fact, yes, this is the part with the Piraka frame and also the pelvis, the Vaki pelvis part, and with some connector right here. And also some older arm. So you have to know that this part, in fact, is independent. So we're gonna make this part. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna try to show you clearly how it works right here, guys. So we're gonna make this part independently and then add it to, this big the body frame, in fact. So in fact, it just acts as an armor, if you ask me. It's just for the overall design of the parts. Because it serves, I think, no role, apart maybe just add this Piraka frame. And that's, I think, quite all maybe for the body parts. So yeah, you just have to know, in fact, that it's made in 2 sections. The main one with some ball joint for the arms and legs, and this second one, which is a little one, which used, as you can clearly see, for all the arms, right here, and also some hose pipe, which is in fact just useful to add for the overall design of the set, and to make him some armor and a more interesting body frame. And that's all, guys. So then you're gonna have the wings part. I'll try to show you. So maybe I'm gonna add some bolts right here. The body frame, the wings frame, excuse me. So this one also is quite simple, in fact, because it's also an independent part you're gonna build after, and then add to the overall to the main frame, in fact. So you just have to know, yes, that you got a main frame, and then you're gonna link different parts of it on it. So the wings right here, as you can clearly see, are made simply, in fact, because we're gonna use a Vaki pelvis part. This is the blue one right here, and also a double connector in dark metal. You can also notice that this one also breaks, so you can see it's really a fragile part. And I take care of my parts. It's not like I launch them on the ground or stuff like that, by the way. So yes, here we go. So 2 Titan connector right here, then slicer robot lift arm. This part, in fact, will be linked with a ball joint, which will be linked to the suspension system. So this means that this part is quite articulated, and this means that the wings will not fall off. So you can move it in some ways. Maybe I'm going to talk about the articulation later, guys. And then, of course, this part, so the other part of the wings, you can see it clearly, is linked on the ball joint. So yeah, in fact, you can clearly see here it's how it works. And this part, I think, is maybe, yes, you can also turn this part right here. So in fact, it's pretty well articulated, if you ask me. In fact, I just built this yesterday, so I finished building it lately, so I don't really have time to play and to see it work. So it's kind of this review also serve as a discover for me, or at least allow me to discover the model, which is, I think, is more wide than what I said earlier. So here we go. The second wings is the same as the other one, so the same articulated part. So it is, if you look on the top part, so you can clearly see the little ball joint right here, which is really helpful to make the parts move together. And we're gonna see the third part, which is linked, in fact, with the torso frame, or at least, which is not a part of the head or the legs or arms. It's the tail part, and it's really well designed, in fact, if you ask me. So look at that, seriously. It's all made with the same technique, so we're gonna use this conical staff right here, and then link some vacuum leg, a double connector, vacuum leg, double connector, vacuum leg. So it's the same, but it's really well done, as you can clearly see, because it really looks solid. In fact, it really looks bulky and blocky, and it's worked pretty nice. I especially like the little spines right here to fill the, which are in fact put in the holes of the parts. So here we go. You can see there is a hole in the part, and we're gonna use this part 3 times. And just link it like that, so it will be blocked by the parts, and it will make some spins on the tail, on the tail section, and it's work really nice. So I think it's an interesting building techniques, which really is pretty simple to add to your mocks. In fact, if you want to make this type of tails, or even just some different type of it can also be used for example, a canister type of mock, in fact, because you can try to put the little spins on the back of this part and it will work really nice. So really an interesting part, if you ask me. It's really a well done tail. And we are almost done with all the parts. We're going to talk about the legs right now. The legs, in fact, are pretty simple, if you ask me. They are not really that complicated at all. It's not like, for example, Voporak, which got really like a complicated one, which was really bulky and stuff like that. So as you can clearly see, the feet, I think that the feet, in fact, is the is the most complicated part, because as you can clearly see, there is tons of little parts put together to link all this different type of, not feet, but, oh, and I don't have the words, great. But all these 3 parts right here, which are all the same and are made with natural arm, and also some Bowak eyes right here. Also you have some Piraka feet right there, and also this little part on the back. So it's really well designed. Of course, you have got 2 connectors, one for this part and one for the pneumatic part right here. So this part is really simple. In fact, the front one, it's made with a Piraka leg. You can clearly see it. Links with, of course, you're gonna add some technique beams and put some stuff on them to make them look better. And the same goes for this part, in fact, because you can clearly see it's 2 Titan connectors linked with some long axle. Right here, you can see it through this part, long axle, and then we're going to link these 2 parts with a technique beam, and then add some details on it, like for example this part, which work pretty well, and also this vacuum weapon right there. You can also notice an ordical neck right here, which will be useful to make a second articulation for the legs, for this part of the leg. So this means it's pretty solid, and it works pretty nice, in fact. Because of course, as you can clearly see, it's a slide and it just break. Yes, because maybe because it's, yes, I think it's maybe a broken double connector, so that's why it's oh boy, I don't really want to break this one. But you can clearly see it slides through the parts, so it's really easy to move this 2 legs, and in fact they are pretty solid, so they can really support all the weight of the wings and the body frame. The second legs, of course, is exactly the same as the other one. So, excuse me, this review is kind of long, but I mean, it's not like your usual communal. It's really a big one, I think. And that's really the last big one we got, if I remember correctly, because there were no, they were just, yes, they were kind of a communal in 2009, and there were. And that was all, in fact. There was just one communal, which was Hawaii. We're going to talk about the arms right now, which are in fact really simple, because you can clearly see it's made of double connector. We're going to add another connector, in fact, to link it to the ball joint. So in fact, we're not going to use this one. Some Nuva shoulder armor, and I think it talks for itself. Just look at it. It's really simple, so I was quite disappointed, but quite disappointed, not quite disappointing, but quite disappointed. Link here, of course. You can notice. The second one is exactly the same. So they don't really try to do a better job on the arms. Maybe they couldn't, but I don't really know why. And then we're going to talk about the head part and the neck part also. So the neck part is quite, in fact, the tail part. So we're going to use a double connector right here, link some parts, some strobot feet right there. You can see we're going to use the same techniques as the tail one right here with the little Bowak eyes. Baroque eyes, and that's quite all. It's pretty nice. The head section, in fact, is the same as the Fenwag because it uses the same type of gimmick to open and close it. It uses also the same number of teeth, the same building technique. The only difference with Fenwag, in fact, is this rear part right here, which is completely different with some, again, some Baroque eyes used as little teeth and little spines. And it's worked quite well. So here we go. I think really the gold is really a nice color on this set. We're gonna in fact link this part to this worksheet leg right here, which was put in between all these parts in the main body frame. So the building in fact was quite interesting because the building really seems a solid one. Oh yes, of course, if you want the instruction for this set, you can find it on Biosector or just type in Kardas Dragon and you will find it. There was not really any problem with the articulation, with the instruction, excuse me, apart from the fact that the black parts were really black. So that means, for example, when they show you a technique beam, you can't really tell the numbers of all needed apart if you look on the just on the bottom of the instruction page where it shows you the 1/1 scale of the technique beam. So sometimes it's just hard to figure out, excuse me, where to put the pin in the long technique beam. But apart from that, it was really straightforward. And also, if you want to build Vezon, it's on in another instruction booklet. So this time you have to go on the Vezon page on Biosectors and just find the instruction for the from the Kardas model. And of course, here we go, guys. We have finished building the Kardas model. So I'm not gonna talk about the articulation. So of course, you can't see him in his full glory, but of course, I will show him in the entirety, in his full body at the end of the review. So maybe I'm gonna begin with the arm. So you can see you can put this up on the side. This time it blocks at 90 degrees at this point, and this is kind of free. So in fact, it's just some normal arms, nothing really to say about it. The legs, in fact, so I'm gonna discover at the same time as you, or you can bend this. So it's worked quite nice, in fact. Maybe a little more. Oh yeah, a little more. You can do a little more. Of course, the technique beam blocks against the connector, so you can't really do that much. And as we have seen earlier, this part right here, this articulation part, works quite nice because it slides through the legs. So I think you can still make some interesting pose with that. It's not like it's blocked and really hard to pose, like for example, an Ultimate Jume, for example. Of course, you have the tail part with some articulation, of course, right here. I'm not going to talk in details. It's quite hard to turn, in fact, because as you can clearly see, this spike right here blocks the movement of the double connector, so you can't really move it in every way. Right there. Now we're going to talk about the head because we can see it clearly at the webcam. So as you can clearly see, you can make it up or down. Also, this part can be put up or down, and this one can look on the side. I think it's pretty weird if you ask me, because it really seems the head is kind of too big in comparison to the body, or at least maybe the neck is too long. I don't really know why, but I think that it's a big space right here between the head and the body part. So maybe it's just me, but I find it quite looking weird, but maybe you get used to it, in fact. But I still think it's quite maybe just too much. So of course you will have you're gonna need, I think, the tail to stabilize the model, because sometimes of course it kind of fall off, but with the tail on the ground it will stand and not fall. So by the way, I think we just have to review the wings articulation right now. So excuse me, this review was a bit chaotic, but it's still it's really hard to with a Titan of this scale, it's really hard to move it around the cam and to show you clearly how all the parts work. So here we go. I'm going to just put the webcam like that. So as we have seen earlier, you can kind of move this part, but not really that much. In fact, you can really you just have to move this part right here if you really want to move all the wings, and also you can really close them. In fact, you can really, if I really want, I can really close them. Just look at that, so see, and here we go. I closed the wings of the Kardas Dragon. So of course, it's really an improvement if you compare these wings to the Ultimate Doom wings, which were just some blocky technique beams thrown together. So yeah, it's quite nice. In fact, I really like these wings. They're really well made. And here we go, guys. That's all. So I'm gonna try to put my webcam in another way. So of course, excuse me if you cannot see every. I'm gonna put off some books, of course. And here we go, guys. I think that's all for the Kardas dragons. Yeah, here we go. In the middle of the pictures. So, what I have to say on this set? Oh yeah, maybe I'm gonna add just a Vezon because he's I quite like him, and you can see a comparison size. Oh yes, I'm gonna just bring the Ultimate Human set. So I don't really think I can just pose him on his side because he's really also big. So you can see it's kind of taller, in fact, just thanks to his wing. Thanks to his wings, and it really fall off easily. So, oh come on. Okay, no, it won't really it won't stand. And here we go to the comparison with Takanuva. And if you want the third one, so the three big combiner models from 2004 to 2006, we're gonna add Vopowak, but Vopowak in fact is just your average Titan scale. So of course, because the head is kind of bended, it's not as big as it might be, and also I have also kind of bended the legs. So of course, here we go on the Kardas dragon, not on Vopowak. So here we go, guys. So I'm maybe just gonna put off all these guys to do the little sum up because they are not really useful for the sum up. And here we go with taking over. So to sum up, I think that this set in fact worked pretty well. I did not see any okay, it just fall off. There was no way a big drawback for this set, if you ask me. The only serious drawback I have with this set, personally, is just maybe the arms, which are quite simple, but it's not really a problem because, of course, it's a dragon, so the main important part are the legs, the tail, the wings, and the head, I think. But the other problem I have is the head and the holes between the head and the body, in fact. So just that little problem I have with this set. But apart from that, it's really a well-done design. Also, I've liked if they have tried to add some more parts on the body frame because, in fact, apart from this special part right here, there is nothing more, in fact. But apart from that, the construction was really interesting. It's really a long construction, of course. The wings are really well made and really well articulated. So yes, it's really an interesting building techniques and it's worked pretty well. It's really nothing to do with the other winged or Titan set, for example. It's really a nice one. Also, the legs are pretty simple. They are just decent, I think. It's not like I don't really think they're awesome or stuff like that, but they're just pretty decent and they support the weight, so that's really a good point. Because remember, for example, Shadow Red one got really weak legs, which did not support his weight. But this time, the wings, the legs at least, can support all the weight of the Titan set, so that's really a good point. Also, the body frame is really well made, in fact, because it's really blocky, but it's really sturdy, and you know it's solid, not gonna fall off. It's really have multiple use because when I link on it, this front torso frame, this front armor, and also the wings. So I really loved when I have to build the. I really liked, in fact, not really love, but liked when I have to build this torso frame. It's really worked pretty nice. Also, the tail. Is really well done, I think. The design is really nice with all the little spikes. It really works well and it's really helped to pose the model. So yeah, it's really a flawless design, if you ask me. And finally, the head is quite nice. The neck part is really well done. It's like kind of like the tail, but it's maybe too much, if you ask me. So just a little problem I have with this set. And for Vezon, I really like his new arms. It's pretty well done also. And that's all, guys. So did I advise you to build this one? Hell yeah, in fact, yeah, you can really try to build this one because it's quite interesting, it's quite big, and seriously, apart from breaking your dark matter collector, I see no problem in destroying your sweet Titan set from 2006, because this one does not need the Umbra Titan set. This was kind of a special edition one. So here we go, guys. I really advise you to build this one. It's really an impressive Titan. I don't really know if this is the best one of the 3 big Titans released between 2005 and 2006, because I really like Vaporwalk, for example, which I think is, even if it's not really an impressive Titan, it's still a well-built one, and it has nothing to do with this big Titan set. But even if it's not the tallest Titan Corbiner model, I think that the Kardas Dragon is really a well-made one. Seriously, the design is almost a flawless one, seriously, because the tail parts, the wings parts are really well done, also the body parts. So yes, apart from maybe the wings, the arms, which are really too simple, and also maybe the legs, it's really it's what I call a flawless victory for the designers. So by the way, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. If you have any question on this big beast, just ask me. I will try to answer them. And I think that's all, guys. So you know what to do now. Try to put apart your Vezon and Fenwak, Butake and Action set, and try to build this big giant wave, because it's really worth it. And that's all. So hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and bye bye. See you later.